They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of display. Pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 Hey everybody, what's up, man? Let's hold the truth hostage where the truth was so important we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Now this is gonna be brief, but this is basically, Black Pill 3.0 content. We're gonna talk about the infinity pill and why I think a lot of what's going on and what's holding society back, is that we've become a society against man reaching for the infinite, the infinite ideal, the infinite accomplishment, the infinite goal, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of it, and the infinity pill, shout out to the homies that told me, you might as just stick with that one, so instead of the, going with the Thanos thing. The thing is this, with the infinity pill, the thing is this with the infinity pill, and it's basically, I look at the black pill like this. The black pill is, how you deal with, society, societal things, be it the laws, and most of all, I'm starting to think that the black pill is all about geomaxing when it comes to your, your mental approach to living. It's better to be aware of the world than to limit yourself to domestics entrapment. I'm starting to think that the black pill is basically, man, it's geomax. Your mind basically, you gotta think on a geomaxing level, but the black pill will deal more with your position in society, how you can benefit, maneuver economically, globally, and so on. But beyond the black pill, or what I say a focus of the, from the black pill would be the Trinity pill. No, my bad. The infinity pill. And, the infinity pill, I think it's a harder state of evolution, of a black pill, because now your mind has to think and operate on an infinite plane, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that becomes troublesome to many people, you know what I'm saying? And, shout out to MD with the Wisdom Radio, he's doing big things over there when it comes to the knowledge and talking about thought patterns and, approaching, the limits of the society and what's, thoughts. But to me, the infinity pill is a hard pill to reach, because you have to open your mind to absolute infinite thought, And what I've come to realize is this form of thinking can actually separate you and actually alienate you from others, even in the black pill community. Because, I look at it, in my honest opinion, I personally think society is over 5,000 years behind when it comes to technological advancements. You know what I'm saying? I personally think that, and I think we're against So much is in place to limit our advancement. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how when you look at the primitive times, you look at when a man came up with the wheel, and you're like, man, he didn't have to get a patent. He didn't have to get it approved. You know what I'm saying? He just made the wheel and lived with the results. You know what I'm saying? Now we're in modern time where there's so much corruption when it comes to limitations of your mind and coming up with innovations. I mean, some things you're afraid you might lose your life over. I mean, be it curing a disease, coming up with a alternative to driving vehicles, maybe making it water, solar, maybe making it kinetic. You know what I'm saying? Technological advancements, as we moved away from primitive times, I mean, it got more limited, more limitations. I mean, we all heard about the story of, I think it was Alexander the Great, how they burned that library in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? There's so much against knowledge, and history has shown that there's so much against it, and learning and pushing forward. And the reason I'd say there's a lot of fear of the infinity pill perspective and thinking on an infinite plane is that, man, you start looking at things from a perspective of, nature. You know what I'm saying? You start naturalizing humanity. You know what I'm saying? You start applying the circle of life to the human being. And a lot of people would get offended by that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of innovations have been limited due to the fact that we can't look at our fellow man from a perspective of, the natural law of order, and at the same time from a absolutist level of societal thought. You know what I'm saying? Beyond society and the limitations of morality. Beyond that lies, true infinite plane of thinking. Like, for example, they always bring up this BS about, trying to have you think about, where do we go in the afterlife and this and that. What I've come to realize is they want you to focus on the afterlife because they don't want you to look at the fact that they're not seeking to solve what gets you towards the afterlife: disease, sickness, illness, you know what I'm saying, crime. You know what I'm saying? They want you to focus on what comes next. What happens to me when I die? What happens, focusing on all the crap instead of looking at society for the fact that we're not solving issues that are causing death. We're not solving diseases. You know what I'm saying? We're not solving them at a point of, man, we need to solve them now as soon as possible. It has to go through bureaucracy. It has to go through, corporate finances and, corporate threat. I mean, some diseases you can't even openly solve because some corporations, many of them depend on this disease to exist. You know what I'm saying? That this is how corrupt, society has become. You know what I'm saying? Where you can actually make an entire industry around a disease. I mean, you could look at cancer. You know what I'm saying? You could look at cancer and see the amount of industry built around cancer remaining where it's at. Runs, walks, charities, benefits, you know what I'm saying, advertisements, sponsorships. There's so much around promoting cancer, yet there's a limited amount of true seeking of solutions for cancer. You know what I'm saying? If you were to look at cancer as, in fact, let's say, you look at cancer like it was Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Cancer is like the Michael Jordan of sicknesses. You know what I'm saying? It's advertised everywhere. It's like it's treated as the number one thing and most profitable disease. I mean, if you looked at diseases as though you were looking at a spokesman, you know what I mean? Cancer right now has been making money forever. I mean, cancer has beaten sexual diseases. You know, it's the most profitable illness. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it from that perspective, you see what's going on. Now, the other thing with the infinity pill is that when you think on an infinite plane, you start looking at things from a more, you know, life cycle perspective. Like, I'll give you an example, and you know, a lot of people would basically not agree with this, but if you look at it from an infinite plane of thinking, you would agree. You know what I'm saying? For example, let's say, and you see this going on with PETA and all these organizations with, oh, don't experiment on animals, don't do this, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You see a lot of this going on. You know what I mean? Don't experiment on this animal, that animal. You see a lot of limitations to what we could achieve. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say limitations is that, let's be honest, you know, let's say they experiment on a rabbit. They experiment on a rabbit. Dude, it's a rabbit. It's never gonna achieve more than what a rabbit can achieve. So you're doing all this protesting to limit experimenting on a rabbit as though a rabbit can apply any train of thought, innovation, or anything. I mean, it's a rabbit. You know what I'm saying? So it has nothing to offer the world beyond being an animal and what it is, and its limitations. You know what I'm saying? So to me, now, the reason I bring this up is that, let's say someone commits a crime, a horrible crime. Let's say this person touches children. Let's say it touched children. And let's say without a shadow of a doubt, it's all proven. Now, this person, let's say they're removed from society now. They've been removed from society. So the question becomes, why can't you experiment on this person? Since this person is basically, let's say this person has touched a child. You know what I'm saying? Touched a child, there's evidence, and they've done some vile things, unforgivable things to this child. So why, if this person is removed from society, let's say they're removed from society forever, you know what I mean? They're fully removed. So why can't they be experimented on to better and innovate mankind? You know what I'm saying? Other people say, well, man, that's immoral, that's inhumane, but the person has been removed from society and has been proven to be unstable to even be treated as a human being. You know what I'm saying? They're seeking to touch and defile children. So the question becomes, and this is where thinking on an infinite plane happens, is that why can't you experiment on this person to find solutions and, you know what I'm saying, cure certain things and find answers to problematic issues that are affecting, you know, people that are basically functional and stable. You know what I mean? And this is why the infinity pill perspective, thinking on an infinite plane, it will actually make you outcasted by, you know, other guys in the black pill community, because this is a level of thinking that seeks to think infinitely. And I mean, let's say, okay, you experiment on this on this guy. You experiment on him, okay? And let's say this person, dies during this experiment. If you look at it on infinite plane perspective, you're like, man, well, he was touching children and all that, and he's been removed from society. He's unstable. So, what I'm saying, he wasn't going to benefit society or do anything anyway to further humanity. You know what I'm saying? So we removed him, and then let's be honest, man. You look at it, he was going to potentially get the death penalty, or someone would have killed him anyway. So even if this person passes away during the experimental phase, they were subjected to death anyway. You know what I'm saying? And this is why thinking on an infinite plane, or thinking on the infinity pill perspective, will actually get you outcasted, because some people, still operate on the fairy tale of morality, false morality, and it's inhumane. It's inhumane. Yeah, you know what I mean? How is it inhumane to dehumanize someone that shows behavior that is dehumanized and inhumane? You know what I'm saying? So this is what you look at, and you look at things from this perspective. You basically look at it and say, well, man, the guy was gonna be either put to death, rot in prison, or someone wanted him dead or would have killed him anyway. So why can't we experiment on this person? And this even applies to, if you go further, I mean, let's say some child, let's say, because of YouTube, let's say a life is given birth. It's given life, but it's defective. You know what I'm saying? Severely defective, to where it, let's say said offspring can't exist without severe amounts of, help and, medical attention. So, and would die anyway if they aren't kept on this high rate of medical tools and so on. So it becomes a matter of, why can't you experiment on this? You know what I'm saying? When this person is completely removed from, experiencing a life in society. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to think about when you think on this plane. You know what I mean? You start looking at things from a perspective of, well, life and death and, replacement. For example, you see this huge false advertisement about, life being a miracle and all on. It's funny that's being advertised as a miracle when you have over 7 billion people on Earth. I mean, I didn't know miracles, were 7 billion. I thought miracles were chance, rarity. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen. It's not oversaturated. They do this because they want you to limit your outlook on the process of life, the process of something being born and given life. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, none of us here are a miracle. We were born like anyone else. You know what I'm saying? And the reason they do a lot of this is that if this wasn't promoted and advertised, most would look at it as what it is, man. Yeah, that person gave life, and they could give life to someone else, and you as a man could bring life with someone else also. You know what I'm saying? It's you could watch a video I made called Male Limitation Society. Male Limitation Society. I go deeper into depth on why they want to limit men or whatever in society. But beyond that, you got to understand, man, we're in a society where there's a lot of limitations. You know what I'm saying? We can't experiment on this. We can't experiment on that. because there's a goal, a major goal, and that major goal is to limit man's pursuit of godhood. You know what I'm saying? The ultimate goal and achievement is godhood. You know what I'm saying? Because let's be honest, man. You know, death, everything you see in this society, you know, every limitation could actually be broken. You know what I'm saying? If the approach was given from that perspective of removing limitations. For example, they like to bring up, oh, there's too many people on this earth, population control. And that can easily be proven as BS. But what's stopping us from you could leave the earth to expand where we live, or even B, you could even start developing pocket dimensions on the earth. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, organized living a lot better. You know what I mean? There's a lot of solutions, but they want to limit mankind's aspirations by dictating limits and speaking in limits. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, it's unnatural, it's inhumane, all these limitations. But when they talk about corporations making their money, oh, they had to fire all these people. You know what I'm saying? They had to take his job and his pension. You don't hear that being called inhumane. You don't hear that being said it's inhumane that you just fired a person without warning or you know, any justification. That's not inhumane. But it is inhumane for an individual to come up with a solution or seek out a solution. It's all manipulation, man. They manipulate the words to get you to feel this sense of guilt. Because, you know, I realized this a while ago. You know, religion, yes, it's built on some positives and all this and that. But a lot of religion, and I'd say most of it, is built on a lot of narcissism. There's a lot of narcissism in religion. You know what I mean? A lot of narcissism. Because, you know, a lot of people want to think they're so important. They're so crucial that an all-living, all-powerful being worries about them every day. That's right, an all-living, all-powerful being worries about them every day. To me, I'd say a better example of the gods was before Christianity. You know, you have the Roman gods, you have the Egyptian gods, you have some of the African gods and tribal gods where the humans, you know, where people were more like aware of their stories, but they weren't saying, oh my God, these gods, you know, we have to worship them. They live off our prayers and this and that. No, a lot of times the way they spoke about these gods is they were living their lives. The gods were living their lives and they weren't really worried about what humanity's doing. You know what I'm saying? They were living their lives. You know what I'm saying? That's an example of godhood. But then again, if that was the example allowed, it would basically suggest that an individual could reach a level without anxiety, without separation. Because they like to say, you know, humans are social creatures. Yes, we are social. But in reality, in the truth, the black pill truth, we're social when the environment presents itself to where it's beneficial and you know, healthy to be so. You know what I'm saying? They don't mention that. But you know, you had the Viking gods and all these other gods. They were not good for business because, you know, the people didn't have, you know, you got Thor. People weren't living and dying, you know, for Thor. They were living their own lives, and Thor would be doing whatever he's doing. Hercules would be going through his adventures, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This allowed individuality. That's why you see the older gods of religion, such as the Vikings You know what I'm saying, Romans, African gods, Egyptians. They were more based around, I'd say, individualism. Each god brought their own notions and their own approach. Then you have Christianity, where it's just one God, sees all, does all, and you know what I mean? There's no real perspective of individuality or individual thought in that representation of God. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they brought on the devil, you know what I'm saying, to spice up the story, But other than that, I mean, you think of God, in all honesty, to me, it makes sense when they showcase that white light and that that light image. Because when you think of God from Christianity, I'd say, Catholics and all that, when you think of God, in all honesty, it's like thinking of something plain without any character, basically it's like thinking of nothing with a lot of power and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's no creativity, individualism. The thought of God, it just becomes plain. You know what I mean? But when you had the Roman gods, the Greek gods, the Egyptian gods, the African gods, and so on, all these gods displayed individuality. You know what I'm saying? The Norse gods, they all had their own individuality. You know what I'm saying? And they reached godhood status. And, the goal was to wipe that out, because the last thing you need when you plan to corporatize and manipulate and profit from a large mass of people is individualism. You know what I mean? If you look at the Norse gods, the Roman gods, the Egyptian gods, some people aligned to certain gods. You know what I'm saying? Men that were of war, or basically staying in shape to fight, and that perspective, they would align more to basically the god of war. You know what I'm saying? Ares. They'd align to Ares if they were in the Roman gods. You know what I'm saying? They'd align to certain gods of war when they were in Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? You basically had a massive amount of separation and tribalism and individualism when you had these type of gods. You know what I'm saying? But when they made it a one God thing, they basically, the goal was to eliminate individualism. You know what I'm saying? You could even see with, I think it was the 10 Commandments movie, where Moses says, "Thou shalt not worship false idols," or whatever. But if you think about it, when they built that false idol, it was a expression of their individualism. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, I'd say, Christianity, Catholic, Christian Baptist, Muslim, a lot of these faiths are about the removal of individualism. You know what I'm saying? And individual aspirations, because to control and make people sheep, you have to center them around one ideal. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did. That's why I look at it, and you think about it, you're like, wow. So during the Roman times, they had different gods, different religions, and so on. Egyptians and all, they had their own gods. So, you had Horus. Some people align more with Horus. Some people align more with Anubis. You know what I'm saying? It was individual, perspectives and aspirations and who they worshiped. You know what I'm saying? And there was different gods, you know what I mean? And you look at the gods that were usually the leaders of all those gods, like you have Odin for the Norse gods, and my Egyptians a little blank, but you had, you might have had a leader amongst the gods that was more neutral and more focused. You know what I'm saying? Not as consumed with one ideal. I have a good example because, I grew up watching a lot of Hercules, if you look at, Hercules, you got a god that was focused on love, Aphrodite. You got a god that's focused on war, Ares. You got a god that's focused more on maybe the virtues of war and combat, Athena. And you had a god focused on building stuff, Hephaestus. You know what I mean? A lot of these gods had their individualism, but to control people, you gotta eliminate that. You gotta make them worship one God, which tends to be, if you think of God, just plain, just plain and, power and all that, but boring, so that individualism. But, the infinity pill, man, it's about reaching an infinite perspective of thought. And, a lot of things break, and a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. They're not comfortable with that because they've bought into this hypocritical morality and humane narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's inhumane for you to experiment on a man, let's say a man who committed vile crimes, but it's humane for a corporation or a government to fire people without warning. You know what I'm saying? It's humane for a government to bail out the banks and leave the people in the country starving. You know what I'm saying? No one brings that up, how inhumane that is, but it is inhumane for you to experiment on animals and so on. The hypocritical aspect of humanity and morality, it's insane. You know what I mean? So to me, man, there's a lot of I'll have more content, as the infinity pill is infinite plane. You know what I'm saying? It's thinking on an infinite level. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being held down by religion, society, mortality, narratives. It's about thinking on the infinite level. And if you think about it, so much is possible. We got so much technology now, but like I stated when it started, there's so much limitations. You know what I mean? But, this has been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. And this is a Black Pill 3.0 content piece.
Pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces of this place.